So all you guys have been asking for it. Let's see the tuning of our 98 Ram 1500 twin turbo 5.2 liter Magnum V8. And in today's video, we're gonna go over tuning. We're gonna actually tune the truck. I'm gonna show you guys how to set up a base map. I'm gonna show you guys how to go through the SCT 3200 software and actually a little bit on how to use it. We are tuning, of course, my 98 Ram 1500 right here. This 98 Ram 1500, of course, is not stock whatsoever. We have a huge fuel system in it. We got big turbos, we got a huge cam in the motor, and we got a bunch of other goodies that is going in this truck too. But to make these things all work together, we need to have a nice tuner. So what we are using actually is a SCT 3200. We're gonna go in the truck and take a look at it. If you guys have any more questions of things you need to turbo your Dodge Ram 1500, I already made a video about that, going over fuel injectors, map sensor, and some other stuff you need to convert on this truck in order to turn it into a boosted truck. And that video will be right here. So go check that video out, guys, if you want to see all this stuff besides just the tuner on how to get a turbo system to work properly. So in the truck, in the cab right here, we have the actual SCT 3200. As you can see, it's plugged into the truck, into the OBD2 port right there. We also have a laptop. Gotta have a laptop. So first thing, plug the SCT 3200 tool into the truck. We got a cord actually connecting that comes with the tuner that connects it to the laptop with a USB port. If you guys want to get a tune from someone, if you buy the tuner, it does not come with the tuning hardware. You actually have to buy the tuning package. You can get it from SCT themselves. That's where I would definitely give SCT a call and just order it from them. It's way easier than trying to order off a different website. They have you all set up and they'll get you through everything. You have to do some emissions training in order to actually tune a vehicle, because you have to keep everything emissions compliance like we have, of course. Fluffy's here, of course, aka JT. He agrees that we've kept this truck emissions friendly.
It is perfectly safe for the environment.
We got tuner hooked up to the truck. We got a laptop opened up. This little guy right here is called a dongle, and when you buy the tuning software from SCT, you will get a dongle. So right here, this guy right here, so this is our Advantage 3 by SCT. This is our actual tuning software that we have. This is what tunes the SCT. Processor code is right there. Click finish, and then it opens up all the different things you need to do to tune the PCM. All the things it allows you to do to tune the PCM. A couple things we're gonna go over. So on the Mopars for fuel, so we click this little plus tab right there, and then we have all these fuel tables and different fuel changing and stuff. The fuel table with EGR off and EGR on are going to be our two fuel tables that we are going to look at. So this is just the stock map as it comes with the SCT 3200. This is what SCT has deemed as the stock tune in the truck, and that is what we're looking at right here. So along this side you can see RPM, and you can see it goes from 608 to 4800, and then on this part we have map and torr. Torr is just another reading for pressure, like kPa, psi, inches of mercury. Those are all measurements of vacuum and boost and pressure. So in order to tune a truck properly, you guys have to understand atmospheric pressure, the pressure that the atmosphere actually pushes on us. I would definitely check that out on Google, read a bunch of stuff on how atmospheric pressure works, because I am not a scientist and I probably would explain this totally wrong. I understand how it works, but I feel like there's other people that could explain it a lot better than me on how it works. So make sure you guys get an understanding on how atmospheric pressure works. Another thing too is, for you guys to tune a truck, you need to understand how an engine works. You need to understand what kind of fueling an engine needs, what kind of timing an engine needs in order to tune a truck.
It's just magic.
That's what a lot of people say about tuners. It's just magic. It's really not. It's really not that complicated. I would definitely, if you're interested in tuning, I would definitely go out there, watch a lot of YouTube videos like I have. I've never took any classes for tunings. I've never been taught about tuning at all. I am YouTube certified, just like you guys are watching this video are too. on how to tune a truck. You need to understand timing, you need to understand fueling, you need to understand kind of what's going on in that combustion chamber when you put pressurized air in there. But jibby jobby blah 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 scientific stuff. We're gonna go back on showing you guys how the SCT Tuner Software Advantage 3 actually works. And so again, this is our field table. This one's actually our EGR off field table. This is a field table, so the first thing I would do is probably click here, copy this, because you're not EGR's emissions, and yeah, and then paste that in there, and you're gonna see how it changes this full field table. SCT is kind of cool. They'll put red in here, and that means it is actually, they see it out of deem of limit. You don't care about that on EGR on table because we don't have EGR on this truck. So we have put an SRT4 map sensor in. So the SRT4 map sensor actually divides this by 2. So this is all vacuum. So right here we go more into vacuum, and then right here would be 0. So this would just be atmospheric pressure, 0 psi, 0 inches of mercury. This is just nothing. And then above this is boost. So in order to change a field table, so like we have right now, so right now this all right here is, this would be into boost. We will never hit boost at 800 RPM, so we can kill this field table off like we did right there. So all we did was type 0. So we highlighted all the cells we wanted. We typed 0 right here, and then I clicked enter, and it changed all our cells to 0. Other fun thing you can do too, like right here, if you want to add a value, as you see right there, you could do like 5, and then you can actually plus 5 onto the field table, and that just added 5, or you can minus 5, or you can divide by 5, or you can times by 5. Other thing you guys need to know, so we talked about in the last video, we sat here tuning for a long time. We killed all these field tables in the truck itself, and I couldn't get to pull fuel. Because we have upgraded injectors in this. We have 80-pound snake eater injectors in this truck, which are a lot bigger than the factory 16-pound OEM injectors. They're over 5 times the size. So of course we're gonna have to pull fuel at idle. We have a huge cam too, so we're gonna have to pull more fuel at idle because bigger cams take less fuel to idle on. And we have a lot more fuel pressure than factory did because we have this awesome Evil Energy fuel system. And we are at 58 psi instead of stock 35 psi. So what we were messing with was these field tables. We killed, so you can see right here, it says like crank fuel. We killed a lot of this. We have like AE fuel right here. We killed a lot of these fuel maps. Down here we have like warm up fuel tables, so like engine coolant temp and time. So you can see if it gets colder out, it will actually add more fuel for a longer amount of time. We killed this table off, we killed a bunch of tables off, and then we ended up actually just killing our main field tables, our EGR off and EGR on table. We totally made these 0, this whole thing 0, and we were still idling, which we shouldn't be. And what I found out was a fuel injector right here. If you go to the scalar, you can see we have a injector minimum pulse width. It's at 2200 injector pulse width. And that was our issue right there. It was at 2200 injector pulse width, and we needed like, I think, 1058 injector pulse width. So it doesn't matter, we killed the field table, it doesn't matter. Injector minimum pulse width is at 2200, so that means it will never go below 2200. So we actually had to cut that down to 1000, and then we were all good to go. A couple other issues I have had with this too is then the map sensor scaling, because again, we have an SRT4 2-bar map sensor because the stock OEM map sensor is not able to see boost. The SRT4 map sensor, or you can do a GM 2-bar map sensor, works too. Whatever you want to use and you get comfortable with, whatever you have a buddy that shows you how to use it, works better. We actually had to go into the speed density chart right here, which is another name for map, and go into the scalar, and right here this minimum count, this map minimum counts 5 volts. It says 120. We had to cut that down to 60. It even says in here when you click on it, so you can click on all these and they'll actually give you a little description at the bottom on what it's doing. If map sensor counts is lower than this number, it will throw a 5 volt cold error. And we were having a 5 volt cold error. So we cut that down to 60, and I've actually haven't checked the DTCs yet, but we've been pretty good on that so far. Injecting timing, adjusting timing, not injecting timing. We go down here and we have a, where is it? spark, right above speed density. So again, we have a bunch of field tables, we have a bunch of stuff. The main thing we want to look at is spark with EGR and spark with no EGR. You can see we got a bunch of timing tables set up. We have idle spark at about 17 degrees of timing. So because we are on that 2-bar map sensor, we had to rework this whole entire area. Let's actually pull up my other tune file here. So this is the actual tune file that we're running on the truck, and we'll pull up the map that I have built on this guy for this truck. So you can see now we're idling at about 19 degrees of timing. Because we got that 2-bar map sensor, we idle in this bank right here at 19 degrees. When you go over here, you can tell with the stock map sensor, we idle right here at 17 degrees because we're seeing this kind of vacuum at idle. We have a bigger cam, so we're not seeing that much vacuum at idle. We're seeing about right here for vacuum and idle. Some other fun things you can do on this, so you can see we have a pretty modified field table over. We have a pretty modified field table over what the factory was. Alright, there we have a bunch of stuff. You also see they pull, so when you floor it, you're going to see like a curve that's going to go like this, and then about, yeah, let's say 2400, then it's going to hit here and ride down here at 0. You can see we had about only 24 degrees of total timing in this truck. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's why if you guys buy a tuner for these trucks or get it custom tuned by someone, it really wakes these 5.9 Magnums up because they just don't run. The factory tune's really soft. It's really weak. I mean, they make the motors last forever. Custom tune will also let the motor last forever too. It's just they tune vehicles from the factory with all emissions intact. They tune vehicles to meet emission standards, and they just have to soften stuff up. That's why a tuner, a lot of people say tuners are only worth it on diesels. That's a lie. Tuners are 100% worth it on gas vehicles. They are absolutely turned down than what they fully could be. They don't have as much gains from factory than like a diesel if you put a tuner on a diesel, because they're already turboed from factory. There's no diesel you can buy that's naturally aspirated anymore. They're all turboed already, so they can run more boost, more injector timing, more fuel. And same thing on a gas motor. You can add more timing in it, they can put a little bit more fuel in it. They actually pull fuel in it because a lot of factory tunes are extremely rich under wide open throttle, and that is because of different areas you live in. I mean, atmospheric pressure is going to be different from like Minnesota to Colorado. Colorado, you're a lot higher in the atmosphere, the air's a lot thinner, so they have to make the truck tune. You can drive it anywhere in the world and it's going to drive and it's going to act normal. So again, a custom tune in your area is perfect because then the tuner can get it squared away, get it perfectly correct for the area you live in, and it'll make maximum power in the area you live in. Some other fun stuff you can do too is if we go down here, these trucks actually too have a trans torque reduction from factory. You see down here, trans torque reduction. So you can actually see it will pull timing, spark retard reduction, spark reduction for 1-2 shift, 7.5, spark reduction for 2-3 shift, 15 degrees. That's a lot of timing they're pulling between the shifts. Again, get rid of that, get a tuner to tune this. They really wake these trucks up. So we're kind of over this boring stuff, just talking about this. If you guys have any more questions about the SCT software and how to do more stuff on it, I would love to do a live Q&A and actually answer your guys' questions. So comment down below if you guys would love a live video showing you guys on actually answering your questions and what you guys want to know more about this. We kind of went a little bit over stuff. Again, you guys should really understand atmospheric pressure and how an engine works before you even think about tuning a vehicle. So now, let's get the truck tuned, and we're going to try to get them on the road today. Right, Fluffy?
Yeah.
So whatever I say, take it with a grain of salt. I'm trying to teach you guys so you guys can learn too, because I'm learning as well. If you guys have any answers for me, like, hey, Eric, change this, change that, because you've done this before, that'd be great. Leave those comments down below too. I'm going to get into tuning a truck, get in and starting it, see if I can clean the fueling up. I think I got the timing table all good to go driving it, and we'll see what happens. So let's get this truck running, guys. Come on, we got to get this baby going. Yeah! So we got Whitey running pretty good right now. He's still a little rich, but when you put him in drive, he's actually at a really good idle of 14.0. I'm data logging him right now with the computer, with the actual SCT tuner, to see where we need to pull fuel and add a little fuel, because we were there for a little bit. So you can see right there we're idling 11, 12, and then when we put it in drive, so we just need to pull a little fuel. I'm gonna get the data log done as it loads. All right guys, check this out. Look at that idle. 14.6, 14.7. You put it in drive. I need to add a little bit more fuel. But we've been sitting here for probably 2 or 3 hours just working on the tune. It's very time consuming between data logging and actually changing the tune. So we're gonna sit here and adjust a little bit more, and then we're gonna start working on revving it up and working on that part of the tune as well. This has just been idle tuning this whole time. So we're gonna keep going, guys, and get this going. Got the hood shut. The tune's pretty good right now. I got it pretty good idle. You rev it up. The only problem is when you rev it up and it comes down, it dies, so we gotta figure that out. And yeah, so we're gonna take it out of the garage, probably drive it around my yard a little bit and see what it does. I'm gonna set you guys up on the tripod. We're gonna just drive them like probably 30 feet just to get the tune, see where things are at, and change it up again. Then we'll pull it back in the shop and see what happens. All right guys, we're gonna take that data that we just got from that little tiny drive right there, change our field tables a little bit more, and then we'll probably drive them a little bit more. And we'll just keep doing this until we can get them actually on the street. Drag radials suck in the snow, by the way. I got stuck on my driveway. I had to put it in 4-wheel drive to get up here. Not the best winter tires. All right, so we got that data log right here. So we're gonna read this data log a little bit easier here. So we're gonna click on add histogram right here, and then I already have a fuel histogram set up. Open this guy up, and we'll go to the actual histogram, average, and then we'll probably run her through a little bit here. Definitely need to add some fuel right here. $255, was it $255 to $255 to $330? Yeah, maybe we can say $240. $240 to $330, $1,000 to $1,500. So right in this area. And 200 right there, make it a little fatter. I'll probably add 200 to the rest of this too. Sick though. We gotta figure out a few kinks with the tune. A few kinks with the tune, and then we'll be out street driving Whitey soon enough. I can listen to that idle all day though. Whities run really well at idle. You can drive them a little bit. The only issue I'm having right now is on D-cell, he stalls. So after you rev it up and idle down, it stalls. If you drive it and let go of the throttle too fast, it stalls. So I don't know if it's too much fuel or not enough fuel. So I tried pulling a ton of fuel. That didn't seem like it did anything. So then I added a ton of fuel, and that also seemed like it didn't do anything. I have timing curve there, so I don't think it's a timing issue. I think it's something with fuel. I don't know if I have to add more fuel or less fuel. But let me know down below, guys, what you guys think that I should adjust or try to change on that D-cell issue. Any help, that would be extremely appreciated from me. So a lot of tuning is pretty much just stopping, redoing little things, data logging, watching what's going on, and then actually changing what you're tuning. Sorry, we're downloading another tune right now. It's a lot easier if you guys go to an aftermarket ECU, because that stuff is already, it will help you tune it. Unlike the SCT, it's pretty much all on your own. You got to build everything yourself, so it's a lot more complicated. But if you're willing to sit down and figure it out, I definitely think it's achievable. I mean, I'm doing it. I've never tuned a truck, and I'm figuring it out. So, guys, I'm thinking that the next video, we're actually probably going to be driving the truck on the street instead of my just driveway. And we'll probably get her down pretty good, and hopefully we can hit a boost pole by then. But we'll find out, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, keep it boosted, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!